Hey, you, friends, family, and strangers. I'm dropping a couple hot ones right now. Look, we are continuing our series here on Dougalo Nation on getting out of the apartment, downgrading everything in said apartment. Shelves are going away and being packed into storage units. TV stands have become fold-up tables. This is a time here at D Nation Church of great transition. Amen. Anybody know that to be true? And one of the things I'm struggling with right now is the fact that, I want to watch like Cops on my phone while I'm dropping a hot one, but there no longer is a bookshelf in front of me in the bathroom like there used to be, okay? But you remember, church, what I told you. Crates are the answer. That one up there is only there because I was trying to get it out of my way when I was dicking around with my bed frame, getting rid of it. I gotta tuck my wiener in or else it'll fall onto the floor. And yeah, but I'm gonna put that right here in front of me. I'm gonna stack a few more onto it because I still need, in the meantime, a nice little cozy shelf, unit of shelves right in front of me while I'm pooping. We're just doing what we do. We're continuing our series of moving the fuck out of this apartment. And who knows, if you stick around long enough, it is possible something cool might happen. So gather your things and let's do it.
You're a loser.
Listen to the rain hitting the roof. I hope you can hear that on the cameras as good as I can right now. Like I done told you, I gotta put a shelf up. So if you don't mind, can you grab that crate? I would grab it myself, but all right, like I done told you, when you're pooping, you need something right here in front of you for easy access and easy viewing. Okay, you need that bookshelf. Now, as you already know, that big, beautiful, decorative bookshelf that I had, the one that makes them get wet when they see it, is gone. It's already in storage. Just forget about that. Just let go of it. All right, just live in the now, dude. So we're gonna have to come up with a temporary one. Because look, this is serious business. All right, maybe you want to prop your phone up and you don't want to have it off to the side. You might like blow your neck out trying to watch something over here. You want to prop your phone up right in front of you while you're taking the dump. You're probably watching something on Dougalo Nation, trying to get through, my vacation movie when I was up in Maine. Or maybe you're trying to watch the 4 Days of Waterfalls epic movie that I made, all right? So, like I done said, these crates make for the perfect temporary, pretty much temporary anything. Tables, shelving, whatever. Massage beds, whatever you want, dude. I wonder where I can find more crates. All right. It's coming along. All right. I like it. Maybe one or two more. Okay. All right. I see what you're doing. Not staged, by the way. These were just out and about. I don't think I can pick it up on camera, but one of my neighbors at this very moment is involved in a domestic dispute. I can hear the thudding and the screaming going on. It's kind of common. But anyways, look at that. Oh my God. That's even better than the badass expensive one that was there. Now I can see a video while I'm dumping. This is a non-fiction book that teaches you about dinosaurs. That needs to go right there. You're also going to notice here in the apartment that I am down to a very thin stock of dishes. But there is one matter before the court tonight. It is whiskey night. One thing I will not be able to do while parked up in a van is drink alcohol. Little sips at a time. Except for when camping at a designated, paid-for camp spot. Unless that particular campground prohibits alcohol use on their property. Legally speaking, you ain't drinking parked up in your vehicle, bed down for the night, anywhere but a camp spot. Because it is expressly against the law to be in any public parking spot consuming alcohol whatsoever. So for now, cheers, baby. Listen to the ice, and then listen to the rain. I'm a little drunk from drinking PBWs, and I need you now to fold my fucking laundry so I don't have to stay up any longer and fold it myself. I would just throw it on the folding table, but that table is gone. Just like everything else, it's already in my storage unit. Well, in another strange turn of events, I got an email back from the water company that puts water into this apartment. You know, my biggest problem at my house, my previous place before this, was the water. So I noticed today that my account was like over $200, so I checked online and it said like missed payment, rejected or whatever. And I'm like, what are you talking about? There was never a lack of funds on there. And if so, I'll just pay it now, but it wouldn't let me pay. So I called the number online, and of course, I don't want to say the wrong thing on here and get the fucking butthurt trolls upset, all right? But anyway, so I did the next best thing, and I sent them an email, and I said, why is my account blocked? I got an email sometime, and I just noticed it just now here, like 4 in the morning. It said, your account has been blocked. You must pay your account what's due by certified payment. Why was the decision made? If someone is late for a reason they're not even aware of, block the account, baby. The water company here at the apartment can kiss my ass. And in the meantime, to go on record to say that that rant that you just saw was alcohol influenced. Good morning. You okay? How you been? Got a little bugger. Hang on. Get that out here. Oh, shoot. Still there. Yeah. Little bugger. I think I got. Well, I don't got a tissue over there, but I'm going to pretend like I'm wiping it on something. But really, I'm just putting it in the carpet. Okay, look, motherfucker. So I tried to call the dipshit asshole water company again. And I said, how long until I get evicted out of here for not having water on the place? She goes, well, it looks like you're 4 months behind on your water bill. I said, how? Why? The money's been sitting there waiting for them to take it. And she said, well, normally what happens is it just ends up on someone's rental bill. And I'll pay my water bill through the online portal with the apartment. That's a relief. I'm having a bad day. I just want some fucking water. I guess I should do stuff like get this the fuck out of here into storage because, yeah. Much better. Speaking of water, I'm going to attempt to take a shower now with the water that they're forcing me to steal. And then I'm going to probably duck out early and put that bookshelf into the storage unit. My brain kind of needs that today. I need to just kind of like touch my thing. Something that feels so much more obtainable is like, because my storage unit's so much more affordable, so much more straightforward. It's not like a joke like this place where like everything's willy-nilly and, oh, we're going to pretend that we sent you mail concerning your water bill, even though you told us you never got it and we could care less. So anyways, my brain needs to just kind of like be in a place that feels real to me today. So yeah, let's go do that. And since I'm probably making a run out early, I think I'll go ahead and just carry these out the way they are, still not collapsed, these bed frame pieces, and add them on today's load as well. Much better. But for some reason, the apartment still looks like a war zone. You win some, you lose some. Before I go to the storage unit, what do you guys think about this bad boy getting taken down the steps today? You know what? You only live 3 times. Fuck it, let's do it. You know, all your crap sitting around cluttering up your countertop space is a good motivator to continue to keep on packing boxes. Walking through here without the bookcase there is the first time that the apartment has actually started to feel bigger. Everything was moving out the door, but replaced with temporary stuff like the table, whatever. So it just felt kind of the same. But now this is like culture shock. I'm just so not used to this wide space right here. All right, van life pro tip. When you pick up something to eat, always go in and request a plastic bag because you're gonna need it in your van for trash. And always snag a couple pre-wrapped forks, baby. You can't be doing dishes on the road, silly. How you doing? Huh? You want to know how I'm doing? I want to know how you're doing. Okay? We're back at the storage unit, and on the way here, I got to thinking, how long would it take for the landlord to show up and run me out of here? He's watching on the trail cam. He's always watching, and I don't blame him. I would do the same thing, especially if I owned a restaurant. I would be watching everything going down at all times, at least for the first month until I got over it. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, I got to station up here for a couple hours at least, and it's already late, so it's going to be long after dark by the time we get done. Let's see what happens. The van feels creepy without anything inside of it, anything in the back, which I know is all in my mind, but still. Friends, family, strangers, before we say goodbye, I want to put something on your heart that I hope will help you, as I myself am navigating through a similar tough situation myself, and it has taught me a lot. It's caused me a lot of up and down emotional pain, and but overall I'm using it as a learning experience, etc., etc. So there's someone in my life who becomes irate and the reason I'm looking over here is because I was researching my situation specifically to pull up on the interweb, well-documented psychological reports or theories, okay? But this is my literal situation, even though I am glancing at the wording of it from a previous thing that I made. There is someone, we'll say, in my who's close to me, okay, who becomes irate when I express what causes me emotional pain. This person does not seem to be willing to give me a safe place where I can confide in them. They normally try to convince me that what upsets me is not logical and often tells me that when I express my pain and protective boundaries, that I'm being mean and judgmental. And keep in mind, this person becomes irate. And I will sometimes fall right into that as well. And I act unfair at times to this person and raise my voice and use profanity as well. And that's not fair to them either. Okay? And if that happens to you, if you're in that situation, I'm begging you to not beat yourself up over it, but make apologies where they're due and leave the door open for communication. In my situation, I'll explain it a little bit more here with you in case you're going through that as well with someone in your life, or if you're going through something similar. This person accuses me of wanting things in restitution that I never said or requested. Okay, think about that. Is there someone in your life that when you set up a boundary or express what hurts you, this person does what I mentioned and also accuses you of saying, well, what do you want us to do? Bend over backwards, blah, blah, blah. Most likely in a much more harsher way, you know. It seems like an abuse, this seems like an abusive attempt at gaslighting. So I'm asking, I'm researching up terms or fields of study in psychology that define and explain how this abuse works, and some tools that victims such as me and you or anybody can use to heal. And I have a comedy show and sometimes a news show, sometimes a totally incoherent garbage post show, but I have a platform, and it's important that we don't waste our platform. If stuff is going on in my life, then it is only to be assumed that similar things or lesser or worse things could very well be going on in your life as well. So let's all agree that it is deeply painful when someone in your life who should be a support system reacts to your vulnerability with hostility. And I believe it's important not to label this person as defective in any way, because we all have shortcomings, we all have bad reactions to things, we all have behaviors and habits that we don't fully understand or realize, even something as deep as someone who is abusive. It's not, in my opinion, that this person is a quote-unquote bad person, but this person does exhibit unsafe behavior, and that's what needs to be dealt with. I encourage you not to attack your abuser or someone who you feel is like a center of pain, or a center of someone in your life that kind of is, you're stuck in a pattern with, a pattern of not being able to move forward truly because of something they're doing, you're doing, or both. Okay? The patterns that I'm talking to you about, such as dismissing my logic, flipping the script, making me the aggressor just for having boundaries, and there's also, in my case, fabricating demands that were never made. These things are well documented in psychological literature. So the specific dynamics that I'm dealing with fall under several key terms and fields of study. Okay? There's a few of these that I didn't really understand and I don't believe apply to me, but what I want to do is I want to take this full list of information that I pulled up, and I want to put together somewhat of a like miniature audiobook about what I'm going through and what possibly you're going through, which is a lot of the research pulls up situations that don't apply to me, but I can only imagine are extremely important to somebody who's going through them. So one acronym is DARVO, DARVO, which is something that a abusive type person or abusive behavior type person may do. And this doesn't specifically describe what I'm dealing with, but it is 100% in the ballpark. Deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. Reverse victim and offender. So the two things getting reversed are the victim and offender. So remember DARVO, DARVO, deny, attack, and then reverse. Reverse what? Victim and offender. You may need to think on this in the middle of a battle. I don't want to call it in the middle of being abused, because sometimes it's not necessarily abuse you're receiving, but the heat is on and you are getting denied your boundaries. You are getting denied your speaking up about what hurts you. And sometimes this person is attacking you, sometimes unknowingly. Sometimes this person is attacking you because they themselves feel 100% attacked. In my case, this is somebody who I am asking to provide me a safe place to confide in them. And things get overwhelming in a hurry. I totally get that. So let's move on. This is a tactical pattern often used by individuals who feel that they're being held accountable. Deny, attack, reverse, victim and offender. The deny basically means they deny the behavior happens sometimes. That's not happening in my case, for the record. Attack, I believe, is happening in my case. I'm being attacked for simply expressing what hurts me, and I'm being gaslit. I'm being told, actually it's in these notes, so we'll just keep on. Attack, they attack the person bringing up the issue. Reversing, the victim and offender, they claim that they are actually the one being bullied or judged by my boundaries, by your boundaries that you're trying to set up to keep yourself safe, and allowing the person you're trying to be safe from, or the people that they have access to as well, other members of the family or your friends group or whatever, you're, I think, doing them a courtesy at letting them know that they're in control. You're asking for their help. There is invalidation, okay? The psychological term for the "that's not logical" or "you shouldn't feel that way" response, okay? Chronic invalidation can teach a person to doubt their own perceptions, which is a core goal of gaslighting. Think about that. Let that sink in. When you are dealing with an abuser or someone who's not lining up with you and they are invalidating you constantly, or at least on the big issues, I don't necessarily, it proves that they are some kind of quote unquote bad person, but could it prove that they are mishandling you? 1000%. Okay, invalidation, the psychological term for the "that's not logical" or "you shouldn't feel that way" response. I firmly believe that you should never allow someone into your life that tells you that you should not feel what you feel. When they're yelling at you for feeling what you feel and throwing it back, weaponizing it against you, pretending that you're simply just being judgmental, you're simply just being mean. When really, I think that would go away if that person would actually just accept that you're going through pain. And if they don't believe it, then they should walk away from the conversation. Why the irateness? You know what I mean? Why the hostility? And like I said, in my case, it often triggers me to get highly over emotional as well, and I mishandle it as well. And I wanted to express that to you in case you're there with me in some form or fashion. A lot of times this happens on your job, it happens in your family, it can happen in your education programs with whatever, with your teachers. There's probably so many ways and areas where this stuff could happen. It certainly could happen in your personal, intimate relationships, of course. That's probably, I would venture to say, maybe one of the bigger ones. It could happen in your marriage if you're married. Chronic invalidation could run the risk of getting a person to doubt their own perceptions. That's scary, okay? Which is a core goal of gaslighting. Keep that in mind. What is this one? Enmeshment and boundary distortion. It's interesting. In developmental psychology, this refers to the lack of healthy differentiation. Okay? It's when one person tries to establish a boundary, the other perceives it as a personal attack or a threat to the relationship rather than a healthy limit. And sometimes a person has an extremely hard time hearing from someone they love that that person they love wants to set up a boundary, wants to safeguard against certain abuses. Okay? I get it. I really do. I'm sympathetic with people who lash out after hearing that their loved one wants to set up a boundary or has allergies about certain behaviors coming their way. Okay? Let me read that again. Enmeshment and boundary distortion, the developmental psychology term for lack of healthy differentiation meaning, we're different, and that's set that up. When one person tries to establish a boundary and the other perceives it, your attacker might feel attacked. It's something important to keep in mind, okay? Because your attacker might feel that your boundary or your issue is a personal attack or a threat. This is important. It could threaten the healthy relationship they wish they had with you. And that can cause a boss, a parent, I guess even your child, it could cause them to flip out if they're not used to this and they haven't worked through this enough. And sometimes it's very hard work, and yeah, we'll leave it at that. Projection. This explains like if someone just flips it on you and says, well, I'm just gonna accuse you of being unfair or being judgmental instead of listening to you, I guess. And that one of the things that could cause that is a thing called projection. Keep that in mind. So it's when the person projects their own motives, rather their own motivations or fears onto you. When a person projects their own motivations or their own fears onto you, arguing against a version of you that they have created in their head, rather than acknowledging what you actually said to them. So what would be an example? I'll give you my example. When I express what hurts me, I'm often told that I'm expecting something out of people involved that I've never once expressed that I expect that. And to be screamed that to me over and over as if I'm just going to start to believe it. Did I say that? Did I demand this irrational stuff from these people that have hurt me in my family? And I think if you get yelled that enough to your face, you may run the risk of believing it. So please remember strongly whether or not you have made demands, because some people will try to project onto you. It's exactly what I described. It's kind of hard for me to describe, if you couldn't tell, because I'm not a psychologist, right? I don't study these things. I have to study what I'm dealing with in my own life and learning about it with you together. This person projects their own motivations or their own fears onto you, and they're now arguing against a version of you that they have created in their head, rather than actually absorbing what you're actually saying to them. Okay? There's a lot more on this topic, and there's a lot more things that could lead to abusive behavior. And what I would like to do is, I would like to do a full separate project about it with a much better script. Okay? Because I think if it helps just one person, not to sound sappy, but the truth is, even if it only helps one person, I still feel like I did something that was important, because I want to heal myself. So I would only wish that for other people as well, right? What do you say we wrap this one up for today? That okay with you? I think I'm over it. What do you think? I think we should go ahead and put a pin in the butt of this one. You know what I mean? I believe, finally, it is time to go ahead and pack up this apartment, get it into storage, piss on this campfire, head back into the camper van for another night of cozy, blissful, rent-free and mortgage-free rest and calm and peace. Okay? Friends, family, strangers, quit fighting God's battles. Do what you can, focus on what you can control, and rock that shit out. But for now, I bid thee farewell. Rest on up and get back to me in the morning, and when you do, I'll be here. But in the meantime, don't be a douche.